I'm currently in some garage. I'm going to go head to the gym, do some high intensity, heavyweight pull-ups and dips, the bread and butter of calisthenics and street lifting together. Here's me 2 days later because I forgot to. I didn't spare any time to record this separately. But now today's topic is when people are doing something and they fail. They didn't fail because they lack some skill or lack the ability to do it. They just don't have the identity of that kind of harnesses and embraces that ability which they want to perfect or solve. What does that mean? For example, someone who is identifying himself as a mathematician, he is going to be much more successful than the other one who is going to high school gymnasium and kind of doesn't switch schools like between the first year and between the freshman and sophomore year, and kind of doesn't have the choice to go to the other school and does it for not willingly enough. And that's like what I've been feeling like for the past 2 or 3 years, no, like 4 years. I lacked the identity to kind of do something because I was always thinking I was always strategizing about what can I be doing that would like benefit me, or what should I kind of dedicate my life to. And that is the problem. The problem is many people are kind of forcing themselves to, like, when they see someone doing emotion design in After Effects, or when someone is doing muscle ups with 30 or 40 kilograms or front lever, they kind of wanted to do the same thing, but they don't embrace the identity. The identity of the person who can do those things is actually they are willing to go outside and spend like the next 3 hours doing the front lever holds with the band and without the band, for even if they don't look like it, and they're willing to kind of record them or record the attempts all year round, even if people who kind of see it, and even if it doesn't go viral, or even if it doesn't get popular, or doesn't kind of benefit their social media, they are still doing it because they see it as they embrace it like as their main identity. And many people who are kind of trying to get into Christianity also want to kind of get in, dedicate themselves to it, but don't, because they lack the identity. The identity is you should basically kind of separate. So basically, oneself should separate himself from other people who are not embracing the same values, and go to church, go to read the Bible, read, even if you're in Orthodox church, read the Oak Ridge Prologue, and read about the lives that saints had lived. That's the identity, to embrace those values, even if and they have a hard time to kind of embrace it, because it's hard for them, because that's not part of their identity. And I'm kind of going back and forward on the same topic. Here's my notebook. So when you change the identity, it kind of can affect your relationships, because people, Machiavelli says this the best, even though he is not the kind of good messenger in for this topic. But anyways, he says that I already said this in in one of my previous speeches, videos, the app sessions, that one country in itself has enemies and allies. Allies kind of expect something in return, and if you don't offer them that something that they expect, that can lead to a problem, and they can easily become your enemies. While enemies can become your friends, because they eventually get tired from constantly raging wars against you. And to be quite frank with you, when you change your identity, many people will say, what is wrong with you? What's up with this new idea of you changed so much, Thorfinn? People kind of didn't expect that for you in their turn. And if you were kind of... so there are a few levels to... three aspects of value. When people value each other, that's utility, I think utility, pleasure, and kind of virtue, I think. And these first 2 points are the key thing for the average, mediocre kind of people, while the third point is where the true relationships and friends are built. For example, when you kind of change your identity to get kind of better, to improve, go to the gym, launch your own app, product, whatever, your service, people will kind of go and they're kind of turning the story and the narrative so that is against you, that you are the villain, where when you kind of get insulted or mocked, and you kind of switch in your mind and kind of go away, and they are kind of, oh, you changed, you're so different now from us. And that's when they want you to feel bad because you changed and you kind of made the turning point. That's the problem. That's what I had to face 2 years ago with one friend that I had, friend group that I had, and one bigger friend group that I had, which I have known them for few years, but we had we shared our time, and it was really nice. But I realized that once I became to look after this third aspect, which is virtue, that's where they kind of lacked, because we were trying to start something online, some kind of business, and I was talking a lot about that, and it ended up being just normal dopamine talk, which is kind of good. Some of the times it kind of can lead to benefit, but imagine every day you hop on a Discord and you kind of tell them, yo, check what can you check what I made? I made a beat in FL Studio, or I made an animation in After Effects, and they were kind of, oh, cool, man, that's cool. And they didn't I kind of then stepped out and asked them a question. Yo, why wouldn't we do this and kind of charge people online? I think this will be a good way to get away from this chaos, get away from the spiritual wasteland people call city, and that just didn't work. When your family, your closer family, in my case, when my closer family kind of find out, you did this, you were an excellent student, you had all A's, you never made a mistake, you were perfect, define until you start doing this, you stop studying what is wrong with you. Like they know I can, they think that I can go further and study, but that just, I'm just forcing myself to do it. It isn't part of my identity. I was thinking, when I was in elementary school, that was 5 years ago, 6 years ago, I was like all A student. I had like 4.0 max GPA, max grades. I was the best student. I even got a certificate from the school that I was kind of excellent, full 100% final grade excellent student in like the last 4 years of elementary school. But once I kind of got freshman year, I was kind of okay. I was like 95% final grade, and second, third, and fourth year when I changed schools, it was kind of bad, significantly worse for me, because I was finishing my school year from 80%, then third year it was 60 to 70%, and the fourth year is going to be likely the same, if not a little bit better, because I have something I kind of created this idea of what I'm going to do after high school and in uni eventually. But that's because I kind of lost my identity, and doing these things kind of lost a meaning, you know. And they are willing to attack. Like I said, in Italy, you have Machiavelli spoke about, like, as I said, the previous one. Machiavelli mentioned these Italian countries, like in Middle Ages, medieval times, and they always had these allies, enemies between each another and France. But the problem was, they easily, when the ally didn't suffice something that the other country kind of expected them to do, they immediately turned their back on them, and they made out their way to wipe the floor of that country. I can make an example, because that happened way too many times in history, on a small significant levels, even amongst some like bigger families, and that's what you call a societal expectations. One time confronted my own parents about like why they didn't like kind of raise me enough, which is kind of a stupid move to take, stupid act of mine. But they said, you weren't interested in anything, you weren't kind of interesting in this and that, and they were right, because that wasn't part of my identity. The identity of I was playing a piano like for the I finished my elementary school in piano. I was going to 2 elementary schools at the same time. I was playing piano for 6 years, and as the years went by, I lost my the playing the notes and accords, and piano pieces lost sense to me. But I was like, yeah, I have 1 year left. I'm just gonna do this, and that's it, basically. So I was training multiple kind of sports, and even basketball, football, whatnot, and didn't find any success in those, because didn't align my identity to it. And also, there is a few months ago I was going to kickboxing, and I had this habit of training kickboxing for 3 to 9 months, or even a year sometimes. and stopping for the next 3 to 4 months because my obligations got in the way, and I had to deal with them first, and then I would return back to kickboxing. But once I kind of went out and started reading Bible, I changed my mind about training in that nasty environment where there was this one guy. I'm going to mention him because there are a lot of people like that, and his ego is so big that when we were sparring, he was making it clear that he was going more than 90% in light sparring. And I kind of have done the same. And once I done the same, he kind of went provoking me with his mouth guard, and I couldn't like understand a single word, but I immediately knew that his ego, his own scummy mind made him say something which doesn't make sense and which I didn't understand. I kind of criticized the club in my own mind with my own thoughts because they are presenting themselves as like a family atmosphere, family friendly club where everyone is treated right and we respect everyone, while actually they have one lunatic, one maniac. Sign this video off. I wrote down that I need to write down when I finish it, so let's do it. It's done after 2 days. Thank you for watching.